Good morning to everyone, and welcome to Mindful Movement with AARP Alabama. I am Margie Curry, your host, and again today we are with our certified yoga instructor, Becca, who has been practicing and teaching yoga for quite a few years now. We want to remind you that AARP empowers people to choose how they live as they age. AARP is a nonpartisan 501c4 organization that has over 420,000 members in Alabama. AARP's role is to advocate for those 50 plus and their families. AARP is committed to offering opportunities for people to stay engaged from their home. The Mindful Movement series presents an opportunity for you to keep moving in the safety of your own home. Becca.
Good morning, Margie. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Yeah. Hey, what do you got going for us going into the new year?
Well, I thought today for our physical practice with our body, we would do an all-around practice. We would try to hit everything. You know, it's been the holidays, our schedules are off. We've either been not moving as much as we normally do, or maybe we've been doing more activity than we normally do. But either way, I bet you our body could use some attention.
Yes.
I also have a plan just to give our listeners a little opportunity to sort of reflect on what they might want to be bringing into their lives, especially for their physical body. In the new year. So a little sort of yogic take on New Year's resolution, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, everybody, please remember, before you start any program, make sure that you check with your physician to be sure it is appropriate for you to participate, because we don't want you to get hurt and we want you to be safe and enjoy the series. So, all right, now, Becca, let's get started.
Okay, very good. Well, as I mentioned, so I'm going to give us just a little opportunity for sort of a short meditation, or really it might be more accurately called a contemplation. A contemplation is when we, just mindfully consider a question or an idea. And so here we are, New Year's Eve. We're going to do a good physical practice. We're going to get our body moving. But before we do that, I'd like to just give you a few moments, an opportunity to just reflect a bit on, what you might want to be doing or bring into your new year, specifically for your physical body and your physical activity, right? So yoga and our lives are certainly about much more than just our body, but that is one of the focuses that we're trying to bring you here in these Mindful Movement series, is the opportunity to connect that awareness to your body and do some healthy activity. So from the yogic perspective of yoga philosophy, yoga would encourage us not to look for a resolution, a definitive thing that we must do in the new year, right? Yoga's philosophy is going to encourage us to set an intention, right? An intention setting is a little bit more broad, and in some ways it's a little bit less specific. It allows for more variability as your journey unfolds. So when we think about setting an intention, what we want to do is sort of think about, what would I like to bring into my life? What would I like to embrace? What sort of qualities would I like to cultivate in myself, in my body, in my life, or my community, right? So we could take it real broad, but I'm going to ask you to focus in on your physical body, your physical activity. Now, we've all got some issues, right? We've got physical issues more than likely. We've got aches and pains, or we've had a knee replacement or a back surgery, or, we may have some other chronic condition that we're living with, right? So we've all got something, but all of us, no matter what kind of ailments you might be working with in your life, you've got a lot going on in your body that is doing a great job, right? So we always want to be grateful for that. But I want you just to take a few moments now and think about, what are some qualities you would like to bring into your physical practice or your physical body in the new year? Now, I'm going to give you some suggestions just so you know where I'm headed. This could be something like, I need to be more gentle with my body. Maybe you push yourself really hard and you need to balance that out with being a little bit more gentle or kind. Maybe you're kind of hard or shame, kind of inducing on your physical body. You're not happy with the way it looks or the way it performs. So maybe the quality you want to cultivate is more kindness and acceptance of your physical body. One more example, maybe it's time for you to push yourself physically a little bit more, to try some new physical activities, or to embrace some, increased activity for your body. So maybe you need to, push yourself a little bit in your physical activities. All right, so take just a moment while we breathe and just contemplate that for a moment. What would you like to give sort of as a New Year's gift to your body in 2025? Right? And again, this is not a specific thing. Like, you don't have to be like, okay, I'm going to do spin classes 3 times a week. Nothing that specific. More of a general quality that you want to start embracing and cultivating in the way you approach your body, in the way you think about it, and in the way you treat it. All right. So maybe put a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly. You can close your eyes. And start taking just a couple of slower, deeper breaths as you just contemplate your intention towards your body for the new year. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. One more. All right, now you have an opportunity right here and now to start putting that intention into action. Maybe what you kind of landed on is something that you can, incorporate into the way you practice today with me. If you didn't quite land on anything, give yourself some time. Maybe keep thinking about it throughout the day or in the next couple of days and weeks. There's no hard deadline of midnight tonight or anything like that to set those intentions. All right, we're going to start from our chair as we usually do. So sit tall, feet on the floor. Go ahead and start with rolling those shoulders. We're going to do a little warm up for the major joints of the body. And then we'll spend a little bit of time standing. You'll have the opportunity, if you want, to use your chair for some support or for some balance. And then you'll also have that opportunity to challenge yourself by maybe not using the chair at times. All right. One more roll back of those shoulders. Sit nice and tall and turn the head side to side. Good. As you're turning that head side to side, listening in, noticing how your body feels. And we're listening not really with our ears, but with our inner awareness, our mindfulness. Next time that chin comes over to the shoulder, let it drop down low, come across the chest, all the way to that other side. And then take it back across. So we're going to take this semicircle neck roll a couple times back and forth. Good. One more time. Bring it to center. Pick that head up. Go ahead and drop the arms down at your sides and give those hands and wrists a little bit of a swirl. Get those wrist joints moving. You may feel a few pops and clicks in there. I'll give you another example of an intention. Curiosity about your body might be a nice thing to start cultivating, to be curious about how it's moving, how it's working, how it responds. Open and close those hands a couple times. See if you can notice the individual finger joints. All right, and then keep the palms open, the fingers spread, and let's take a big reach out and overhead as high as you can go that's comfortable. And then bring the arms back down. Exhaling, again, inhale and reach up. Exhale and down. 2 more times. Good. Now, Bring those hands up to the heart and let's pull back. And we want this to be about the shoulder blades and the spine. So I'm arching my back a bit and then push forward and I'm getting rounded. Okay, so pull and push and get, just as much movement as feels good in your body. Now, I'm always going to give you some choices, right? You get to decide whether today's a day where you go on the light side or you push yourself a bit, okay? 3 more of these push and pulls. One more. Good. Now take those arms out to the side. If that's difficult for your shoulders, you could bend your elbows and have them a little closer to you. But let's turn, twisting that spine in one direction and then back to the center, and then turn the other way, back to center. 2 more. Turn and return to center. Twist. And then back. All right, now drop the arms down. Take one arm up and over. Now, if that reach is not so great for your shoulder, maybe you drop it to your head. Back to center. If, again, that arm overhead is not great, maybe hand on the chest. Let's do that again. Creativity might be a quality and intention that you want to cultivate in your life. That could certainly apply to your body, getting creative about the ways that you do different things. Last stretch overhead. All right, now let's bring it down to our hips and our legs and get them a little more warmed up. Sit tall and begin marching. You could hold on to the sides of your chair if you want a little extra support, or even if it just helps you to firm up, your belly, your trunk, and get a little more, activation there in those core muscles. Good. Let's take a little more movement for these hips here. So take the knee up and out, and then back into center. Up and out, back into center. Again. Now notice as I take that leg out to center, I try to keep facing forward rather than letting my body turn with the leg. 2 more. All right, back into center. Let's move it on down to the knee joint. Bend and straighten one leg. Notice how that knee feels. Put your awareness there. See what you can feel. See what you can notice. Okay, keep that foot forward now and point and flex. If the leg's tired, feel free to put that heel on the ground to do the point and flex. Good. Give that ankle a couple of circles. Go the other way. All right, and now let's move it to the other knee. Bend and straighten. Good. Hold that foot forward or drop that heel to the ground. Point and flex. And circle it out. And go the other way. All right, foot down on the floor. Now let's not neglect the toes. We've done all the other joints at least to some degree. So with your feet on the floor, even if you're in shoes and socks, do what you can do. Put your awareness in your toes at the very least. And let's try and spread the toes out. So try to pick up the toes and spread them out as much as you can. It does help to look at them. That helps with that brain-body connection. May trigger some, synapses, some neural patterns. And then let's try to curl the toes. Curl them inside your shoes or your socks or on the floor. And then lift them back up. I got a little cramp in my toe. That's been happening to me more lately. All right, pick them up and spread them. And then curl them. Pick them up and spread them. And curl them. One more time. All right, great. Now, we're all warmed up. We're aware of our body. Let's go ahead and stand if you're able to, right? If you need to stay in the chair, so get creative and see what you can do that's similar to our working movements from the seat of your chair. All right, so we're going to use the seat of the chair next. It's going to be sort of our platform to put our hands on. Now you could do this same sequence down on the floor if you wanted to come down to hands and knees. That's another way to do this bit that we're working on next. Okay, but the chair makes a really nice prop. All right, so hands on the seat of the chair, or maybe you're down on the floor. All right, if you're standing, I'm going to keep my knees nice and soft, kind of let them be fluid. And then we're moving through cat and cow. This is a classic yoga stretch, rounding your spine up like an angry cat, and then flattening it out and tilting the tailbone up, lifting the chest up. This is the one that's considered the cow pose, right? More like the shape of a cow's back, apparently. And then let's round it up into cat again. Continue checking in, noticing how's your body feeling? What are you noticing from your body? What sort of information? Good. Take about 3 more of these. Keep breathing. It's nice to inhale on the cow, exhale into cat. All right, now let's bring those feet close together. If you're on standing, right, if you're down on the hands and knees, it doesn't particularly matter. This just helps us with balance. All right, and we're going to do a little work on balancing and strengthening. So I'm going to have you lift one leg up behind you as high as is comfortable for you to go, and then try lifting the opposite arm out in front. Now, you could hold on to the chair if you need a little more support, or you could let go of the chair to bring a little more challenge. Take a few breaths here. If you feel like this is pretty easy, try closing your eyes. All right, let's bring that hand and that knee down. Of course, we got to do the other side. All right, so let's take that other leg up. Opposite hand out. Again, maybe hold on, maybe not. And again, that additional challenge, if you want it, close the eyes. Good, one more breath. And bring that hand down, that foot down. Separate those feet if they were close together. Let's do cat and cow 3 more times. Round it and flatten it. All right, now we're going to take a downward facing dog. If you're on the floor, if you happen to be in hands and knees, you'll tuck the toes and lift your hips up. If you're on the chair, you're going to walk your feet back a little ways and then push the hips back. You want those hips roughly over the ankles, okay, just in that direction. Arms extended out. Go ahead and get that nice lengthy feeling. Stretch out through those fingertips. Take a couple deep breaths. Maybe move those legs a little bit. Alternating one knee bent might feel good to the hips and the backs of the legs. All right, now we're going to step one leg forward. If you're using the chair, you're just stepping that foot up towards the chair and letting that knee bend. If you're on hands and knees on the floor, you're stepping one leg up between your hands. All right, and push into that back heel. Try to really anchor that back leg. Make that back leg long and strong. All right, now, options. Stay on the chair or stay with your hands down on the floor. Maybe come up to fingertips. If you feel like your balance is okay, you're steady, or you want to just try it, maybe you're cultivating a little bit of challenge in your body for this year. All right, bring the hands up. Maybe raise them overhead. All right, try to cultivate some strength here. Maybe strong is your intention for 2025 for your body. Cultivating strength. That would be a really great one as far as the medical and exercise research goes. It shows that strength training or building strength in our body has lots of benefits. So that would be a great one to be working on. I'll try to give you opportunities for that here in Mindful Movement for sure. All right, now let's transition. We're going to bring the hands back down. Take your time, step back to a downward facing dog. Push those hips back and lengthen out through those arms. Take a nice deep breath. And then we'll step that other foot forward. All right, so adjusting the length of your stance if needed. Take your time. Push into that back leg. Whether you're staying hands down or you're coming up, you can still cultivate strength and embody a strong feeling in your physical body. All right, maybe you bring those arms up. Maybe you raise them overhead. Take a couple breaths here. Push down into the floor with those legs. Reach up through those fingertips or up through the crown of the head. One more breath. And then let's bring it back down. We're going to come back into downward dog one more time. Push back with those hips. Okay, one more big breath. All right, now we're going to do one more that takes advantage of this position. From your downward dog, shift your weight forward onto your hands. All right, and push the chair or push the floor away from your chest. Nice strong arms. Again, another opportunity to work on strength in your body. You want to feel like you're, kind of pulling in through your belly. You're pushing back through your thighs. Take two more breaths here. Plank pose. Full body strengthener. All right, now let's just walk it in. If you're all the way down on the floor, take your time. Come all the way up to standing. Get yourself standing up tall. Roll those shoulders a little bit. Circle out those wrists. All right, now this next little sequence, you may or may not want to have the chair handy to hold on. If you are going to want to have that chair, then you might want to get so that the back of the chair is closest to you. That'll just make it a little easier to reach from an upright position. All right, let's take our strong warrior stance again. This time, I want you to step back with the right leg, okay, so that you got the left foot forward. All right, you might be holding on, as I mentioned, if balance is something, that's a little bit, tricky for you. All right, we want you to stay safe, even if you're challenging yourself, All right, so strong back leg, push into that front leg, lift the heart up, lift either just the left arm up, or maybe lift both arms up, okay? If you need to hold on, take that right hand down to the chair. All right, so we're going to do some twisting here. With that left arm, I want to pull like I've got a bow and arrow. I'm going to pull that left elbow back, and then I'm going to extend and try to turn my head back with it. All right, and then I'm going to bring it all the way back around to the front. All right, so again, I'm going to pull like a bow and arrow and turn my chest, and then reach back if possible and turn the head further. And then back to the front. Two more times on this side. Pull and reach. Back to the front. Pull and reach. Back to the front. All right, now straighten that front knee. We're still with the right leg back, the left leg forward. If you feel like you need to shorten or lengthen your stance at any time, make that adjustment. All right, now again, maybe hold on, or you can put your hands to your hips. A little more work, arms out. The most challenging position would be arms overhead, okay? So I'm gonna fold forward. I'm trying to bend at the crease of my front hip and keep my legs straight, all right? And then come back up. Fold forward. You may notice a stretch or a pull in that left leg that tells you when to stop. Again, you could have those hands here resting on the chair if you wanted. 2 more times. Fold and come up. Fold and come up. All right, step it in. So you're just standing with the feet side by side. Pause, take a moment to observe your body. Probably that left leg feels differently than the right because of the asymmetrical position we had there. Let's take that to the other side now. So I'm going to have my right foot forward and step the left leg back. Okay, the length of your stance is up to you. All right, front knee bends. All right, back leg straight and push into that heel. Try to really get that back leg nice and active. All right, chest up. Remember, maybe it's the right arm that's up. That's the one that's going to be pulling, but you could have both arms up if you want. All right, so here we go. Twisting, pull like a bow and arrow, the right elbow back. Additional option to straighten and look back, and then all the way back to the front. Now that looking back behind you can certainly challenge the balance. That's why you have that chair there if you need it. 2 more. Pull, extend, back to the front, pull, reach, and back to the front. All right, front knee straightens now. Adjust your feet as needed. Now remember, hands can be in several possible places. On the hips if you're not holding on, out to the side if you want a little more challenge, overhead if you want even more. All right, and then we fold forward, keeping that right leg straight, that front leg straight, both legs nice and strong. Good, 2 more. All right, good. And then let's come on back into standing. Bring that awareness back into those legs for a moment. See what you notice. All right, now we're going to come back to finish up our last couple minutes here. Back to sitting down. Okay, so come back to a seat if you're not there already. All right, and let's just stretch the shoulders a little bit and then the hips a little bit. So let's take one arm across the chest, using that other hand somewhere near the elbow to give it a little press across. See if you can sink that shoulder away from the ear, because sometimes it bunches up there. So try to just draw it down as much as you can. And then try tilting your head away from that shoulder that you're stretching. You could even move your head back and forth if you wanted to. All right, back to center with the head. Drop that arm and give it a little shake. And then let's take the other arm across, shoulder down, sit up nice and tall. And option to add in some neck stretching here by tilting the head away from that shoulder. All right, and then release and shake that arm down. All right, now a little stretch for the hips. All right, you can cross your ankle anywhere from the other ankle, a little higher on the shin, maybe all the way up on your thigh. Now, as a little just tip, if I've got my base leg straight, then my hip, this stretch is going to be less intense. If I bring this bottom leg in closer with a bent knee, that's going to put a little more stretch in this hip. So you've got lots of ways you can vary this to whatever works for your hip joint here, okay? All right, sit up tall. And then another option is to see if there's room to lean forward a bit, okay? And you're just looking for some stretch in that hip, that outer hip. Take 2 or 3 breaths here. All right, and then let's switch sides. Figure out where you want to cross that other ankle. Over on that opposite leg, sit tall. Maybe lean into it a little bit. Take a couple breaths here. Good. And then let's bring it back to just a comfortable seat with the feet on the floor. Let's bring the hand back to the heart and to the belly. And let's just revisit that intention setting that I mentioned. And keep in mind that the turn of the calendar year, the January 1st mark, doesn't mean that you have to figure something out for that time frame. You could set an intention anytime that you want. It's a practice that you might even make a daily or weekly practice. What's your intention, for the day or for the week? But let's come back to thinking about our body and what sort of quality do we want to cultivate within our bodies. Here's some just examples that I've given already: gentleness, curiosity, strength, challenge. Okay, these are all things that you might try to start finding ways to incorporate into your routine and into your activities. And we certainly hope that mindful movement will be a source for you throughout 2025 to help you continue to work with your body. All right, take one more deep breath with me. Thank you so much for joining us for Mindful Movement throughout 2024, and we look forward to being with you throughout the next year, giving you these opportunities with AARP of Alabama to move mindfully in your own home. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Happy New Year.
Thanks so much, Becca. Thank you for all you've done for us for 2024. And we look forward to working with you for 2020 in 2025. Thank you so very much. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And we'll see you again on Mindful Movement.